Welcome to this lesson on pedigrees. A pedigree is a powerful tool in genetics that helps us visualize how traits are passed down through families. Think of it as a family tree, but with a special focus on tracking genetic characteristics. Throughout this video, you'll learn how to read and interpret these important diagrams that geneticists and medical professionals use every day. A pedigree is a diagram that shows the inheritance pattern of a genetic trait through multiple generations of a family. It's essentially a visual representation that tracks how specific characteristics, whether they're physical traits or genetic disorders, pass from parents to children across family trees. Scientists and genetic counselors use pedigrees to understand patterns of inheritance and make predictions about future generations. Pedigrees use standardized symbols to represent different family members. A square represents a male individual, while a circle represents a female individual. These simple shapes form the foundation of every pedigree chart. By using these consistent symbols, scientists around the world can easily read and understand pedigrees regardless of language barriers. When we want to show whether someone has a particular trait, we fill in the symbols. A filled-in or shaded square represents an affected male, meaning he shows the trait we're tracking. A filled-in circle represents an affected female. Half-filled symbols indicate carriers. A carrier male is shown with a half-filled square and a carrier female with a half-filled circle. Carriers have the gene for a trait but don't show symptoms themselves. Lines in a pedigree show how family members are related. A horizontal line connects two individuals and represents a mating relationship or marriage between parents. A vertical line represents offspring, showing the connection between parents and their children. When parents are connected by a horizontal line, their children branch downward from that line, clearly showing family relationships across generations. Here's an example of a three-generation pedigree. Generation 1, at the top, shows the grandparents. Generation 2 shows their children, and Generation 3 shows the grandchildren. Notice how some individuals are filled in, indicating they're affected by the trait being tracked. This example demonstrates how a trait can appear in some family members but not others, helping us understand the pattern of inheritance. To properly read a pedigree, follow these key rules. First, generations are labeled with Roman numerals from top to bottom. The oldest generation is at the top. Second, individuals are numbered from left to right within each generation. Third, parents are connected by horizontal lines. And fourth, children branch down from their parents via vertical lines. These conventions make pedigrees universally understandable. One common inheritance pattern is autosomal recessive. This pattern has three key characteristics. First, the trait often skips generations, appearing in grandparents and grandchildren but not the middle generation. Second, it affects both sexes equally, with no preference for males or females. Third, and most notably, two unaffected parents can have an affected child if both are carriers of the recessive gene. Another important pattern is autosomal dominant inheritance. This pattern also has three distinguishing features. First, the trait appears in every generation without skipping. Second, it affects both sexes equally, just like recessive traits. Third, an affected person usually has at least one affected parent. This is because you only need one copy of the dominant gene to show the trait. Pedigrees serve several critical purposes in genetics and medicine. They help track inheritance patterns of genetic diseases through families. They allow scientists to predict the risk for future generations of inheriting certain conditions. They help determine whether a trait is dominant or recessive by analyzing its pattern across generations. And finally, they guide genetic counseling decisions, helping families make informed choices about their health and future. Understanding pedigrees is essential for anyone studying genetics or working in healthcare.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.